Hello, Eagle fans. Jonathan Duran here inside the NCCU Sports Network studios. Welcome back to another edition of the Eagles Kickoff Show. Well, 2 games left, but just one MEAC football game remaining for North Carolina Central this season. And this game, it's important. If the Eagles win it, they'll be conference champions. And as Coach Oliver is going to talk about, and I asked him about what do you tell the team, he's telling them that this is it. You play this game, you win this game, and you're champion. So it's all on the line for North Carolina Central. And they got here after a tough loss at South Carolina State. They went on to scrap to get the win at Dell State and then came home for a happy homecoming against Howard University, a big win against the Bison. And now North Carolina Central, if they're able to get this win against Norfolk State, a ticket to Atlanta, Georgia is on the line. Well, I'm not going to waste your time. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Let's hear from head coach Trei Oliver as he talks about the homecoming win and what's next for North Carolina Central as they travel up to Norfolk State. Coach, North Carolina Central comes home for homecoming, and you give the Eagle fans coming back the same show that they've seen all year long at home. Another dominant win for the Eagles in the nest. Coach, congratulations on the win.
Man, thank you so much, man. I'm really pleased with the guys. We knew it was going to be a packed house, and the people, alumni, were going to come back. I had no clue it was going to be that many people, man. It was unbelievable. And I asked the guys, I said, man, get the people their money's worth. So let's put on a show for them, give them what they want. And like you said, we've averaged, I believe, 50 points a game at home this year. And the guys got there pretty good, man. I was really pleased with the performance.
Coach, you always talk about, when we talk about the keys, you say start fast. You have to start fast. Well, Coach, I don't think I've seen 9 points scored as fast in any other sport besides basketball when our men's basketball team scored 9 points to beat Dell State last year in overtime. But, Coach, I mean, you scored the touchdown in the first play from scrimmage. You forced the safety. I mean, how big was that turn of events?
And that was huge. Like we said, start fast and uh, EJ popped that first one, man, and it was great throw, great catch, great execution. And then we talked about role players, and Makai McCall made a big play on the safety, making the tackle in the end zone. And it's just good to see guys stepping up, whatever their role is.
Coach EJ Hicks, I mean, he came in for the press conference this week. Kyle Serba, head SID, pointed out the fact that, he went to the end zone on 2 consecutive catches going back to the game against Delaware State. I mean, how big of a factor has he been for the team this year?
That dude's unbelievable. I think the biggest thing about him is his leadership qualities. He's helped groom those young receivers in that receiver room. The Devin Smiths, Andrew Smiths, Joaquin, Quentin McCalls, all those guys. And he's just been Mr. Consistent, man. And when he gets the ball in his hands, he's electrifying. And the play against Del State was a big-time play to win the game. And then to start the game off this week was unbelievable.
And another big-time play, I talked to Coach Coard. I was joking with him. You going to put Christian Smith on the onside team?
That's the good hands team, huh? And then, we come back and Christian, he sniffed out the screen, got a hand on the ball, tipped it to himself, and that was another huge play that was made. And just to see those guys step up and at every position, just make play after play, was just a good thing to see.
Well, Coach, the Eagles really put it all together. It seemed like there was a few touch and go moments when Howard, of course, their explosive offense, they stayed in the game, but North Carolina essentially you kept the pedal to the metal. You come away with the win, and you talk about playing 60 minutes. I mean, when you look around at this team on the sideline, the fours go up in the fourth quarter. I mean, what do you see from those guys when you get into the second half?
We say that we want to start fast, and then every quarter we want to improve. Obviously, the fourth quarter, we've got to finish the game. So, you see us at the end of the fourth quarter. In the third quarter, we all come up and, just let everybody know we all locked in this thing and we focused and let's put this game away. And, when you see guys continue to execute and not have sloppy play and things of that nature late in the game, that's just a testament to the coaches and, how the staff has those guys prepared.
Jonathan Duran with Eagles football head coach Trei Oliver. 2 games left for North Carolina Central now. One more conference game. It's Norfolk State coming up. Coach, the final conference game, always a big one. What do you see for the Spartans?
Well, their record is not indicative of the type of team they are. They are a young team, and they've been in some games and it's kind of got away from them late. But they do have some talent. Like I said, they're just inexperienced. And Coach Odoms, I know we're gonna get his best effort. Being a former player, teammate of mine, and I know a couple of guys on our staff, so they're gonna have those guys fired up and ready to play for Senior Day. Um, they have a two-headed monster quarterback. They have one guy that's number 4. He's a much better passer, and then they have another kid that's number 9 quarterback. He's a heck of an athlete, and he can beat you with his legs. So it's going to be more so about North Carolina Central University and not about the Spartans. So we just have to bring our A game this week.
And Coach, I'm going to ask you a question, which I think for you as a coach is probably an easy answer for you on the inside of the program, but potentially you're playing for a championship this weekend. And I know you, as a coach, you're going to say the message is still the same, but what do you tell these guys as you get ready for this game on Saturday?
This is it. This is for the championship. You win this game, you're a champion. Bottom line. So we don't worry about the records. We're not going to worry about Norfolk State. We talk about Eagles cannot beat Eagles. So we have to play our best game of the season this year. The best game that we can play this year has got to be against Norfolk State. We don't need to be coming there playing around, underestimating, anything like that. We need to play our brand of football and come away with the win.
All right, Coach. Well, talking about playing that brand of Eagle football, what's it going to take for the Eagles to be successful against NSU?
We must protect the football. We can't turn the ball over and give those guys anything. And then, of course, we have to stop the run. And I think our offense has done a really good job with that because we've gotten up on people by 2 and 3 scores. So that's kind of made teams one-dimensional. And lastly, we got to win the kicking game. Stuff still, doesn't change. Defensively, we cannot give them easy scores. We have to make them work for it. A couple games we've given up trick plays, and we gave them a kickoff return last week. So we've got to make teams work for it. And then offensively, continue to make the plays that guys were making all year.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you so much for your time. Good luck this weekend at NSU.
Thank you. And all the Eagles in the Tidewater area, we're expecting you all to pack that stadium.
I hope to see the maroon and gray out there, Coach. Let's hope to bring home another win. Thanks for your time.
All right, Jay. Thank you, man.
See you down the road. That's head coach Trei Oliver. Now let's get to our keys to the game. Let's start on the defensive side with defensive coordinator Courtney Coard. All week long, this Eagle coaching staff talked about how potent this Howard offense was, and North Carolina Central was able to step in and to shut them down. Christian Smith, the defensive tackle, got an interception in that game. Pretty big hands plays. You heard me talk to Coach Oliver about. You'll hear from Coach Coard about that play as well. And you'll hear from him as he talks about what the Eagles need to do to be successful against the Spartans. Coach, North Carolina Central, they're back at home, doing what they've done at home all year. Another stellar defensive performance. Coach, congratulations on the win.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It felt good to be back in the nest on homecoming, and the guys did a good job of defending the nest.
And Coach, you talk about, doing a great job defending. This is a Howard team that was 2-0 coming into this game. The entire coaching staff knew how good this team was and what was really the key for the Eagles to go out there and to be able to play their brand of defense like you've been able to do all season.
Well, just being able to be consistent with our message and every day, we always talk about, the little things, fundamentals, technique, effort, and that's one of the things that we as coaches, we constantly preach. We always harp on the little things, doing the little things right. And, those guys went out there and performed and put on a show for the alumni that came back to campus.
And talking about putting on a show, you're going to put Christian Smith on the onside team?
Oh, man, that was a heck of a play right there. Great play.
I mean, can you walk me through that? I mean, how do you get from all of the training that you do in the summer to the D lineman to have him be able to be in the right spot to get his hands up and to pick that off?
Well, as a defensive lineman, we can affect the game in so many ways, and we can have an effect on the quarterback passing the football by getting our hands up at the line of scrimmage. And that's one of the things that I constantly preach. We don't always do a good job of doing that. But I guess, Chris had it on his mind. and it happened at the right time. And they were actually driving to go score, and they possibly would have scored on that play. It hadn't he gotten his hands up. So I guess it was just a good instinct, good field play on Christian Smith's part, and he kind of tipped it to himself. And I'm glad he was able to come down with it. I wish he would have scored, stiffed on the quarterback, but should we'll take it, man. That was a great play, and I was happy for that young man.
Well, Coach, this goes into the book as the final home game for North Carolina Central this year. And Coach, you do a fantastic job at home. You allow just 50 points at home, and you scored over 50 in 3 of those games. So, Coach, you look back at what the Eagles were able to do at home defensively. What's really stood out to you?
50 points is a lot in my book. Like I said, it just goes back to the young man and the guys that I work with on a daily basis. I think Coach Oliver did a great job putting a staff together. And, we just wanted to come in here and put these guys in the right position. And we always talk about, Coach Oliver always talk about defending the nest. And regardless of where we playing, home or away, but we always want to play a great brand of football. The energy and the vibe and O'Kelly Riddick is just different. Even when I was on the opposite sideline, I always loved playing in this stadium because, it's so intimate. The fans are right up on you. It's a hostile environment. And it's really hard for teams to come in here and beat us. And, just the energy that the crowd was giving off on Saturday, it was amazing.
Yeah, the ultimate homecoming experience is what they call it. And they protected the nest, this Eagle football team did, and the crowd brought the energy. It was an amazing day, an amazing way to finish up the home season. But now, Coach, still work to be done for North Carolina Central. This is Jonathan Duran with the Eagles defensive coordinator, Courtney Coard, and right now you're getting ready to shift your attention. Actually, I'm pretty sure you've already shifted your attention to Norfolk State. Coach, the Spartans are what's standing in the way of North Carolina Central. What have you seen from them?
They're a talented football team. They have talent all over the field, and they're inexperienced in some positions, but they have talent. They have 2 quarterbacks that can really take it the distance. One airing the ball out, and then one making plays on the ground with his feet. So they have a dual quarterback system. They have a big athletic offensive line. They have some younger guys up front. So they're going through some growing pains up front, but they have some talent up there. And those guys when they become redshirt sophomores and juniors and stuff like that, they're going to be a very good group. They have some good backs and they have some receivers that can really make people miss an open field. So we have to do a good job of making sure our eyes in the right spot, making sure we're communicating, making sure we're doing the right things to put us in the best possible position. But it's not about Norfolk State. It's about us like it is every week. We have to do what we do, and that's play discipline. That's be fast. That's play smart. And that's being physical for 60 minutes. So, that's what we've been preaching the whole season, and it's not going to change now.
All right, Coach. Well, this is the final conference game for North Carolina Central this year. What's it going to take for the Eagles to end the season on a high note and be successful on defense?
Like I say, every week, it's about us. We want to try and make teams play up to our level, and when we're clicking on all cylinders, it's very hard for teams to beat us. But we have to stop the run. We have to be physical. We have to recreate a new line of scrimmage. And we have to minimize the explosive plays. Last couple of weeks, we've been giving up a lot of explosive plays via the run ground as well as the air. So we have to keep everything in front of us. Our DBs have to keep everything in front of us. We have to do a good job of getting to the quarterback and making him uncomfortable in the pocket. And like I say, we just have to play fast. We have to be physical. And we have to be disciplined for 60 minutes.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much for your time. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
That's defensive coordinator Courtney Coard. Now let's flip to the offensive side to hear from offensive coordinator Matt Leone. E.J. Hicks, the game-winning touchdown catch against Delaware State, walking down the sideline. E.J. Hicks, first pass goes to him, and he takes it to the house from 73 yards out as Eagles SID Kyle Serba pointed out that he scored on back-to-back plays and back-to-back catches, and just simply incredible for E.J. Hicks. And he helped to lead this Eagle receiving corps. Davius Richard had another big day. Here is offensive coordinator Matt Leone as he talks about the Eagles' success against the Bison and what they need to do against Norfolk State. Coach, North Carolina Central back at home, another 50 points put on the board against Howard for homecoming. Coach, congratulations on the win.
Thank you, Jonathan. Yeah, I was very proud of our guys, the way they went out and competed, and they made plays, and they were ready to go, and it was exciting to watch them execute in the manner in which they did.
I mean, you're talking about being ready to go. I mean, you go 73 yards on the first play. E.J. Hicks, Kyle Serba pointed out that he's had 2 consecutive touchdown catches to end the game at Del State and to start the game against Howard. I mean, how big was it to be able to get that call to go to the end zone?
It's big time. Anytime you have an opportunity to score on the first play and set the tone for the game, get the crowd involved, especially at home, I think that's always a big deal. And EJ's just been playing really well. He's a guy that we want to get the ball in his hands, and it was nice to see him execute on that first play.
You start fast is something that coach has been talking about, emphasizing over the past 2 road games, able to get out to a quick start. We've talked about these receivers. I mean, it really seems that this offense, as you've gone towards the end of the year, I mean, they were great at the beginning of the year, and they seem to continue to be improving as you go towards the tail end of the season. Coach, have you seen this Eagle offense evolve in your eyes this year?
We just, like you said, Jonathan, we just continue to get better. It's never perfect. That's part of football. You're gonna have your ups and downs. But the guys just come to work every day to get better, and for the most part, we're still young. I think that's the exciting part. I mean, we return a lot of guys, even next year, but just seeing the guys develop just from one game to the next, and not make the same mistakes, learn from the previous experiences that they've had, and just continue to work to get better.
And one last note on the Howard game. I mean, how fun is it to be able to see the team be able to get into the end zone from 30 yards out on multiple touchdowns? I mean, that's got to be a pretty good feeling on the sideline.
It is, and we felt like we went into it with a good game plan. We knew some of the things that they were trying to do defensively. We put some things in Davius's hands as far as some different checks, and he recognized it and got us in the right play. And we knew it was some things that we could take advantage of, and he saw it, recognized it, made sure everybody was on the same page, and he did an outstanding job of executing. And then everybody on the field, I mean, from the offensive line to the running backs to the receivers and tight ends, everybody did their job. And you have explosive plays when all 11 are on the same page doing their job.
Jonathan Dern with Eagles offensive coordinator Matt Leone. The Eagles finishing up conference play on Saturday at Norfolk State. Coach, is a big one for this Eagle team. What have you seen from the Spartans while getting ready for this one?
They are a active group on defense. They play extremely hard. That stands out on film. They haven't had things really go their way this season, but that does not show in the way they play. I mean, they play extremely hard, and they show a wide variety of looks defensively. You'll see some 4 down, you'll see some 3 down. They'll change the techniques up front, whether it's a 3 technique or 4-eye or shade on the center, and so you'll see a wide variety of things. I think the linebackers are the strength of their defense. And then they'll show a wide range of coverages in the back end. Some 3 high safety looks, some starting to 2 high and rotate to middle field close to some man coverage. And so we'll see a wide variety of things. So we just got to, make sure that we're all on the same page. We identify things clearly and execute when our number's called.
All right, Coach. Well, 60 minutes to be put on the board on Saturday against the Spartans. What are the offensive keys for the Eagles to be successful?
We need to continue to start fast. I think that's something that as you mentioned before, that's been an emphasis this season, and for the most part, I think we've done a good job of that. And we need to continue to do so. So we need to start fast, win up front, win the line of scrimmage, establish a running game. I think we play our best when we can run the football, and then take care of the football. That's a must. And I'll give one more that I give every week. It's just great situational smarts. Understand the situation, what we're trying to accomplish, win first down, execute on third down, and score touchdowns in the red zone.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much for your time. Good luck this weekend.
All right. Thank you, Jonathan.
That's offensive coordinator Matt Leone. Before him, you heard defensive coordinator Courtney Coard. And at the top of the program, head coach Trei Oliver. All right, now let's look ahead to the MEAC schedule this weekend. And I think for the first time this year, it is an all MEAC weekend. All 6 MEAC teams are going to be playing each other this weekend. And I think just because of, scheduling and only playing 5 conference games, it just hasn't lined up. But for the first time, it'll be all 6 MEAC teams playing against each other. So, the first game of the day will be South Carolina State at Howard. Again, all eyes will be up in Washington, D.C. at Green Stadium to see how that game shakes out between the Bulldogs and the Bison. And the Eagles at Norfolk State will kick off at the same time as Morgan State at Delaware State, and that is 2 p.m. So, one more time through the schedule, South Carolina State at Howard at 1, North Carolina Central at Norfolk State at 2, Morgan State at Delaware State at the same time as 2 p.m. Looking at the conference standings, the Eagles are 3-1. Howard is 2-1. With a win, they will move to 3-1. The Eagles, if they win, they will go to 4-1, and they will have the head-to-head over Howard. If South Carolina State wins, they go to 2-2. Howard drops to 2-2, and the Eagles need to stay on their toes about possible tiebreaker procedures. So that's how everything is shaking out this weekend. But North Carolina Central, they've got the simple road, and it's win, and you're in. So now we look ahead to the weather. Tropical Storm Nicole seems to be going to be out of the area by then, but you're going to have the leftovers from it. It's going to be 75 degrees. It's going to be very warm in the wake of this storm. Winds coming out of the west-southwest, so going up the coast out towards the Tidewater. So if I remember Dick Price Stadium correctly, I think it goes north-south along the Intracoastal Waterway. So those winds are going to be sweeping across the field, sideline to sideline, heading up towards the north end zone, in between 10 to 15 miles per hour. So we'll see how those winds will shake out in the game tomorrow. But here in Durham, same thing. It's going to be 72 degrees tomorrow, partly cloudy. And it's going to be pretty clear once the storm is through the area. So everything through the storm, not so great, but once the storm is past, clear skies, warm weather before we start to dip back down into what is truly fall, as we are here in the middle of November, and we're still having 70-degree days. So that wraps up our show for this week. Thank you for listening to the Eagles Weekend Kickoff Show. As North Carolina Central is on the road to face Norfolk State, and hopefully the Eagles will be coming back to Durham with a win and a trophy. I'm Jonathan Duran. We'll see you down the road. Thanks so much, and as always, go Eagles.